Hi everyone, it's Nicole. Welcome back to my channel and another paper crafting video tutorial. Today we're going to create some fun tags, but first we are going to unbox the brand new Tim Holtz Distress Spritzes. Hello everyone. Hi, it's Nicole. And today I am super excited to work on a project with the new Tim Holtz Distress Spritz colors. So we're going to talk about all of the colors included, and then we're going to create a fun project. So let's talk about these first, and then we will dive in to what I'm going to create with them for you today. You're going to see these a ton in upcoming projects and videos. So the first thing I want to mention is that these are super fast drying. So think what I'm going to show you today, die cutting images or paper. Here, I'll show you. For example, I am going to be die cutting some stars, and we're going to add color to them with these new Distress Spritzes, and it's going to give you like pearl type of paper. So it's going to have luminescence, super pretty. They're pearlized pigments in a clear liquid, and they don't react to dry inks. So if you want to stamp some stuff, which we are going to do on the base, where we're going to have some stars and some other fun stuff, which we'll talk about in a minute, you can do that, and it's not going to bleed out what is underneath. So let's take a look at the colors. I meant to have these in rainbow order, but looks like we didn't make it. So Worn Lipstick and Picked Raspberry. We're going to put them in rainbow order as we talk about them. Barn Door. Then we have our Spiced Marmalade, Fossilized Amber, our greens, Twisted Citron and Peeled Paint, our aqua color, Peacock Feathers. Yay, I love peacock feathers. Some blues, we have Weathered Wood and Uncharted Mariner. Then we have Wilted Violet for our purple. So we've got the whole gamut here. And then, of course, Walnut Stain for that great grungy brown. So I'm going to open these up, and I'm going to pull, you're going to guess kind of what we're creating, probably by the colors I'm going to pull first. I have Barn Door, Weathered Wood, and Uncharted Mariner. And I think that's what we're going to start with. I don't know if we're going to get anything else. And I may use some Walnut Stain as well. So let me put the rest of these kind of out of the way just for a minute. And again, you're going to see all of these used in upcoming projects. So even if I don't use all the colors today. So I decided it would be really fun to take some of the colors from the collection or the new release that I just shared with you and create some patriotic tags that I can use for decor. We're going to be using the Pretty Pink Posh stars. We're also going to use the Paint by Number stamp set with coordinating dies from Simon Says Stamp. I've also pulled the framed tags from Tim Holtz. This is one of my favorite tag collections. I used it on another video that I'm going to link right here, where we did a Valentine's shadow box decor project, and I used this tag set. I use it all the time. It's a really versatile one. There's 3 different sizes, 3 different hole reinforcers in it. It's a really great tag die set. Then I've pulled the Reflections stamp set. I especially love that script. I did pull this one. It's a newsprint, and then we have Grunged, which is just going to help us create that grungy tag look that I love. So first up, I am actually going to take some wire snips and cut apart the numbers from the Paint by Number Simon Says Stamp die set that coordinates with the Tim Holtz Stampers Anonymous Paint by Number stamp set. This is an amazing stamp set, you guys. I love the numbers in this. So I have kind of fast forwarded, if you will, with the magic of video, and I've die cut a bunch of tags, And I also have my stars die cut, all from Nina 110-pound cardstock. So I went against my initial gut and I decided to spray my tag with walnut stain. And I knew instantly I had made a mistake or a creative choice that I end up not loving. Okay. So I started to clean my box and like that was a nightmare with a baby wipe. So I actually just went right back in and I completely covered this tag with walnut stain. Now, this actually is a really cool tag. Think Halloween, think fall, whatever. Or maybe the more grungy browns are more your jam. Anyway, I covered it thinking I'll use it for something else. You're actually going to see me use this a little bit later so that I'm not going to have any waste. So I'm just putting some paper towels down in my box. This is going to make it so I don't have to clean my box after each different color, and I'm not going to get any color soaking into the back of my cardstock pieces. So back to my initial choice, which is weathered wood, and we are going to spritz the tag bases with weathered wood. Now, what I love to do when I am using sprays like this, and there is a little metal ball in these, you want to make sure you mix it up so that pigment really gets distributed evenly, but I like it not to be full coverage. So I like to do some droplets and then I like to kind of do more of a fine mist mostly all over, and then I like to let those sit and completely dry. This is a fast drying product, so I'm just setting them out of the box so they're not sitting in that paper towel that has all the moisture in it, and I am just going to let those air dry on my desk over to the side. Then I'm going to grab the stars that I think I want to be red, and this is barn door. And again, same thing. See how there's some of those bigger droplets, and then I do a full over mist, and then I might even add some more droplets. It's going to give you those layers of color and distress right into your die cut images. Now I'm going to take my stars that I want to be blue. These I'm going to spritz with Uncharted Mariner. Now, I do have to make an adjustment part of the way through where I ended up needing another red star, I think. Once I get everything laid out, that's where like design choices need to come into play. And so I will be making a few differences. Now, what I noticed is I went ahead and grabbed my tags with that weathered wood, which almost looks silvery with that pearlescence in it, is I am very, very lightly spritzing just tiny little sprays over my tags so that there are these blue Uncharted Mariner droplets over the weathered wood. So again, just another layer right onto our tag. Now I am going to let all of that dry while I work on stamping some elements for finishing my tags. I've got another piece of 110-pound weight Nina smooth white cardstock. We're going to take our paint by number images, and I am going to stamp 1776 in Uncharted Mariner Distress ink, not Distress Oxide, Distress. Now, what I want to try with these is when I die cut these, they will have a slight white edge. Now, it is very slight because the dies are fantastic. They do die cut very close to the edge of these numbers. However, I really don't want like a harsh white anywhere on my tag. So this is where we're going to try spritzing over the top of these and see, does the distress ink move? It doesn't, FYI. So that is one of the great things about this product is it's not going to activate the ink underneath. So after I have 1776, I do want to add a little bit more to this. I was really having fun with the kind of grunging it up type of look for these tags in my way. I kind of call it semi-grungy because I'm not a super grunge person, but I do love aspects of grunge. So what I want to do first is take that scripty text, and I am going to actually use an acrylic block for this, I think. I thought about putting it, maybe I do use this in my Misty. I'm going to use it again in a little bit for the tags. That's when I use the acrylic block. So right now I have some archival ink in ground espresso, and I am going to stamp this over my numbers. So for these three, and I'm not going to cover them, just in little areas, that is going to really stay put. You're still going to be able to see a little bit of text through these numbers, which is what I wanted. And I don't want it to be full coverage at all. So let's just move the stamp and make sure our last number is got a little text on it as well. And then we're going to die cut all of our numbers first. I kind of like die cutting my anything first and then spritzing it. That's my preferred way of doing it. You can do it the other way, which I will need to die cut in a little bit. There's a little preview, sneaky peek of something I'm going to do, but I just kind of prefer to die cut first and then spritz with the product. So once I have these die cut, and they die cut fantastic. See, there's not that huge white border. There's a little bit, and I want to, mute that, I suppose, if you will, and not have it be quite so bold and in your face. So we are going to place all of these numbers in our spatter box. I use a plastic box. I just get it at a discount store. It's not very deep at all. And I have those paper towels still in there, so hopefully that'll catch some of the overage. I still haven't washed out my box. I do try to wash it out after most creative endeavors, not all, I'll be honest, but most I do. But we're going to go back with weathered wood now, and we're going to give a pretty generous spray to all of these. It's going to give a really beautiful shimmery, silvery effect over the top. Now, I think when it dries, and especially you can even see it right now. First I thought, oh my goodness, I've totally ruined my numbers. I kind of thought that. But then when I lay them outside the box next to the tags, I was like, oh my word, I love them. So just kind of have fun. This was totally a playtime type of project. Tags are a great opportunity to play with your product and kind of see what you can create. My goal for this, if I don't just display them kind of as is, as you see in the photos at the beginning of the video or over on Instagram, is to maybe find some sort of shadow box or frame or product that I can mount them in. I haven't completely decided. I think they are also cute, like in flower frogs, just displayed on mantles or in cloches or something like that too. Now I want even more blue spatter on my backgrounds. So this is where that grunged set comes into play. Yes, there are droplets. Look at all the tags there on the right side of the screen. There are some light or darker blue droplets from the Uncharted Mariner Distress Spritz. However, I want more. So I'm taking my Uncharted Mariner Distress ink and I am stamping that controlled grunge right on the background, and it adds a lot of interest to the tags, and I'm mixing it up. I really want it to look organic and like it was this larger piece of paper that we die cut the tags from, and it already had all of this spatter on it. I personally love a grungy stamp set. Tim has a lot of great ones, so definitely check out the entire Stampers Anonymous Tim Holtz line to see what else there is. So this looks great. I am super happy with this. Let's lay our stars out and see if there's any adjustments that need to be made. I know I mentioned a minute ago, I do notice a pretty big adjustment that I need to make for that second tag with the 7. I think I had more blue stars than red, and we definitely need to have more red because that really adds that pop of color to these. So I believe what I end up with is 3 tags with layered stars and 1 that's not. So I need to die cut another star from that Pretty Pink Posh Stars set. And they do have a slight pattern to them. They either have stitching around the edge, stitching throughout, horizontal or vertical, little stitched circles, stitched plaid. That's the one I'm going to die cut right now. So you get a beautiful assortment of designs. So they aren't just flat stars. I love it. I love that they have a little bit of that stitching detail to them. Once we have that, I am going to go ahead and spritz this with Barn Door and let that dry. I still have a little work to do on my tags. So, and it, like I said, it dries quickly. And I spritz this, but I will tell you that I end up spritzing it one more time just to darken it a little bit. I don't know if I didn't shake it up enough or what. Probably that's what happened. So I just felt like it needed to be a little bit deeper and darker barn door color. Now, what I want to do is take that same text that I used over the numbers, and we are going to use Uncharted Mariner Distress ink to add a little tiny touch of text. So not only do we have the spritzed backgrounds, and then we have a little spritz grunge, then we have stamped grunge, we are going to add some stamped text to portions of the tag. If you guys follow me, you already know in my card making, I am a huge fan of text in my backgrounds or in elements anyway. And so I felt like my bases of my tags needed a little bit of text here and there. And I'm just going to use a scrap piece of paper. It's what was left over from stamping and die cutting my numbers to protect my work surface. And I'm just going to stamp it off the edge a little bit. And I'm sorry, I'm out of frame of the camera. Of course, I didn't notice that when I was working. But you're going to see the little tiny touches of text show up right on the background. That is exactly what I'm looking for. I want it to be different on each and every one of them. It's very minimal. And again, I don't really want to incorporate or introduce any new colors into my tags. I want these to be kind of that muted, grungy, patriotic palette. That's definitely what I was going for with this entire look. So I love that. It's coming together. I love it. So what we want to do now is we want to assemble our tags. Off camera, I used that first tag that I die cut and spritzed with walnut stain to die cut all 4 sets of the whole reinforcers for my tags. So I felt like I could have saved it for another project, yes, but I also felt like I didn't waste anything because I went ahead and utilized that. I needed whole reinforcers anyway, and I like that they have that same luminescence and pearl type of effect to them since we used another distress spritz, and I like that they're dark. So I just really was happy with this all around, almost to the effect that for other tags I would totally use walnut stain for the reinforcer. I like that. I like it a lot. So I did go ahead and put the reinforcers on the front and the back, even though the back doesn't have spritz on it. I love the reinforcers. They really strengthen the entire design. Then we are going to start assembling or adhering, assembling and adhering the numbers, stars, paper stars, and then some mirrored and metal stars. Now, I'm going to tell you guys, you're going to see this as I am adhering everything, but I thought I couldn't find my metal stars anywhere from Tim Holtz. I'm using a lot of Tim Holtz ideology here, just little bits and pieces. But the mirrored stars and the metal stars are both ideology, and I knew I had the metal stars. Couldn't remember where I put them. You guys, I just looked past them. They were exactly where they were supposed to be. But I adhered all of the mirrored stars and realized, oh my word, here they are. I was over looking for some tags and stuff when I was getting ready to add the ribbon. Luckily, I created these all in one sitting, pardon me. And the glue wasn't dry for the mirrored stars. So in a couple of areas, I was able to remove the mirrored stars, even though they're attached with liquid glue, and I cleaned off the back of them with a baby wipe so that I wasn't, trashing them, basically. I didn't want to have to trash them or anything like that. And I replaced those 2 areas with metal stars. I love the combination. The mirrored stars add a little bit of elegance, I suppose, and then the metal stars definitely more into that grungy, muted palette. But I love both equally. So I am going to speed up just the adhering of all of these elements simply because it's with a lot of foam adhesive. And you know as well as I do with foam adhesive, it's a lot of pulling backs off, so it takes a little bit of time. I'm also using liquid glue in certain areas where things overlap. I am a huge fan of foam adhesive. It gives you depth and dimension very quickly and very easily, not only for your cards, but your tags as well. And I have been a huge fan of tags for years and years. In fact, if you are a scrapbooker, I think these would be amazing in your scrapbook page layouts, or if you do, art journaling or all of those things. So lots of ways to use these, not just for home decor. Like I said, I just love tags. And if you use a little, maybe you could even get by with the smallest tag. I use the medium tag today. You might be able to fit those like on a 5x7 card if you wanted to. But again, it's just a lot of removing backing, but I wanted to keep it in the video so you could really see the creation and also see where I make those adjustments and add in the metal stars. Now, I am going to slow back down here in just a minute when I go and add ribbons. A lot of the ribbons I may not have a source for. Check your favorite ribbon suppliers. Mine are all from Stash, and I still to this day, like when Stampin' Up comes out with new ribbons, I usually add to my stash. I use them beyond paper crafting. I use them for, my cross stitching or sewing projects or home decor projects. I use them for everything. I love ribbons, so I do keep a pretty big ribbon stash still. So you check Stampin' Up is basically what I'm saying. I really personally, I think at least 2, maybe 3 or 4 of the ribbons I'm using are Stampin' Up. So here are all the little mirrored stars. They're cute. They really are cute, but I love a little mixy match. So here's where I found my metal stars and I was like, oh yeah, girl, these. We want to incorporate a couple of these, but I don't want to replace all of them because I do feel like that might make the whole design a little quote unquote heavy, just because they are much more substantial, I guess I want to say. Now I'm going through these number tags from Tim Holtz. These are, again, part of his ideology. And I know there's a 4 in here. I don't think I've used any of these yet. So I am going to get that. And then he has some word tags. And I went through all of them. There were 2 that I kind of picked from here. Happy is what I picked first, and that's actually what I end up using because Happy 4th was kind of my thinking. But there's also a tag that says Brave, which I thought would also work really nicely with the patriotic theme. I did lay them both out, and then I thought, I like the Happy 4th. This little red ribbon, actually, I got something, I don't even know what. It came, this red stripe ribbon, it was in some packaging. That is another tip for kind of your ribbon stash. A lot of times you get things packaged with ribbons. I save them. I always save them. And that blue denim ribbon was a Stampin' Up ribbon. Yes, Stampin' Up ribbon. I don't know if that's current or not. If it is, I will try to link it in the YouTube description. And then this is Lawn Trimmings Twine, which I love the natural trimmings twine. And I'm going to tie the 4th or the 4 tag to this 3rd tag here, and I'll tie it into a little bow. So a little bit of layering is going into my tags as well. And then we'll just snip up those ends and kind of even them out. I like that. Really, really cute. Okay, then I want to make a little bow from this ribbon. So I have these bow tools from 141 Design. I will link to these in the description below as well. You guys, if you've watched any of my tag making videos at the holidays, you've probably seen this, but they make creating bows a snap. There are 4 different sizes, and I highly recommend them if you make bows and you want to make bows beautifully and easily. They're perfect every time. This is the smallest size, the 1.5 size bow, and I'm just notching, fishtailing the ends there, and then I will glue that in place and hold it in place with the liquid glue using my tweezers. I kind of use them as a clamp, just while that glue is drying. And then when it's completely dry, I will take some lawn trimmings twine and thread it through and tie it into a knot just to finish it. I wasn't sure really at this point if I would or not, but I did end up doing that. Then this ribbon is Stampin' Up as well. I tried to kind of do an assortment, almost every other, you know, blues and reds. I loved this one because it's a little bit more of that muted look, and then I'm going to knot the ends of the ribbon for just a little bit different effect. Love it. Now on the number 1, oh man, I had some issues. So I have this other blue ribbon, it's Stampin' Up, and I actually threaded it through the Happy this time instead of using the lawn trimmings twine, and then I'm going to go through and tie it into a knot on my tag. Now I had to redo this one a few times. I haven't knotted it yet. I tried a more natural ribbon and then I was like, no, don't like that. Did I try a thicker red ribbon? I think I actually tie this natural ribbon on here first, and I'm leaving it in to show you guys not only, you know, making design changes and choices, but one of the benefits of those hole reinforcers on our tags, they do make your tag nice and sturdy. I had to pull out knots because I went as far as to knot this twice. So I knot this one and then I'm like, here's the thing that's wrong with it for me. It's about the same width as the blue ribbon, and it's kind of a chunky, kind of not really burlap, but you know, it's more of those natural kind of fibers ribbon, and it just was too much up at the top of the tag. So I removed that, and then I like this red ribbon. Well, I tie that into a knot when I'm like, that's the right width. It's like an 1/8 inch ribbon, but I don't like how I've tied it. So I have to undo the knot, and then I have to undo the blue ribbon next to it. I don't want to try to thread it through that tag because the hole in the tag is really tiny. However, I do want to take them and I want to knot them together at this point, and this was a winner. So I left it in. Again, I kind of wanted to show that whole process and how I got to the final product. So once that's done, you guys, the tags are ready. I'm going to just snip up those ends. We're going to put that lawn trimmings twine through that second tag as I mentioned and knot it. But that is it. I hope you've enjoyed this video featuring some patriotic tags created with lots of dies, stamps, and of course the amazing and incredible new distress spritzes from Tim Holtz. The supplies I used to create these tags are listed and linked below the video here on YouTube. Thanks for watching! Thank you so much for joining me today for another paper crafting tutorial. I love being able to share with this incredible community of crafters. I want to give a huge shout out and special thank you to my amazing Patreon members. If you're interested in joining Patreon, please click the link in the description underneath the video here on YouTube. Patreon is a private community where you can support more of what I do. There is exclusive content, information, and behind-the-scenes content. Top-tier members will receive a handmade birthday card during your birthday month, access to D-Stash, and monthly exclusive lives, plus so much more. We would love to have you join our growing community. Please be sure to subscribe to my channel, click that like button, and don't forget to hit the notification bell to always be notified when I have a new video. Thanks for watching!